We partnered with this agent just 54 days ago and already generated over 168 leads and 5 active deals. In this interview, we run over the exact funnel that's helping Thomas and so many other agents nationwide go from being self-employed, relying on referrals and SOI, to a thriving business owner with their very own 3-step deal flow funnel. This is a funnel that not only generates leads, but narrows them down to a few live transfers that you can focus on into converting into closed deals. So let's dive into this interview with Thomas so you can do the same. Got any big plans for Thanksgiving next week?
We're just going to do a little something here at the house. A few of the local family members going to come through. A lot of my family is traveling and I didn't feel like traveling, so I just wanted to actually relax this year.
Yeah. Do you usually do it at your house or do you go somewhere else?
Usually at my house. We've hosted quite a few times, but we also, with a big part of our family, we'll either host up here one year, and then I've got family down in South Carolina, so they're hosting this year. I just didn't want to go. So
got it. No,
so how about you?
I feel you. Yeah, I'm out of town for Thanksgiving this year. Usually I'm out of Indianapolis, northern Indiana, but I'm in Dallas right now, kind of on, I guess, like just a workcation with some work people. So just doing it here.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if really a ton has happened since our last call.
Yeah, it's been, it's still been pretty consistent. It still seems like, people are responding to the ads still. So, that's a good sign. I've got a decent amount of opportunities over here right now. It's just figuring out how to convert them. Like, I'm, working on, calling them, doing different things. I've tried to, I try to immediately, like when I get somebody on the line, they seem like they're interested. I'm going through qualifying them, getting as much information as I can. And then I immediately try to get them on the phone with a lender because I'm noticing when I would schedule follow-ups, then they disappear on me again. So I've been working on that now, basically kind of doing like what you guys do to me, a live transfer. Now I'm doing a live transfer to one of my lender partners. But still trying to work as far as getting one of them to take the next steps. Is like I get them on the line, they'll talk to them, then they get flaky again. They fall off. So just trying to figure out best ways to keep them engaged and get them to take those next steps.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I guess my question to you is like, are these like seeming like real people with intent? Like if you had to guess, like they are legitimately gonna buy. It's just like a matter of time, if it's just a matter of if it's with you. I guess where's your head at? Like, is it like they are going to buy, or these are just completely like don't know what they're doing? Like,
I think they definitely are. It's a mixture. There's definitely some people that, I think there's definitely some interest. They understand what they're clicking on. They know it's about purchasing a house. They're interested. It's just, a lot of them don't necessarily understand the process of really educating them on that part. It's a lot of folks, especially lately, it's been a lot of, I would say English as a second language people that have been calling in. So there's been some language barriers. So just trying to work through that and get them to actually understand the process. Because like even when they say yes, I don't always know that they understand what they're agreeing to.
Yeah, right.
So things like that. But I definitely think there's some intent there. I think people clearly understand what the ad is about. So I don't think there's a mix up there.
Okay, that's at least good. And then looking at the ads here, let's see.
And I was just thinking, as far as from a, thinking about from a client avatar perspective, as far as, who we're necessarily targeting. I know this ad at the price point is definitely, more first-time home buyers, which I'm good with working with. That's the primarily folks that are, working with them. But do you think we could maybe, split test or do something different with maybe a higher price point, or just seeing maybe if we target something towards maybe new construction or just something a little slightly different angle, just to see what type of folks will respond to it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we can do a few different things. So we can definitely up the price point. We did that for one of our partners in Philadelphia. The interesting thing was we took the price point. It was a big jump, actually. We took the price point from, I think, 350 all the way up to like 6 or 650. It was a huge jump. We actually didn't really see an increase in cost per lead necessarily. So like usually you do, but I guess just for his market, we didn't necessarily. We were still getting plenty of leads, but the live, we also added like on the live transfer criteria, we basically told the reps like, hey, like also just make sure they're kind of around that, like above the 450, 500 price range. Like don't transfer anyone that's kind of below that range. and the live transfers like really slowed down. So it was
Okay.
like, although we did raise the price point, we still had the people like clicking on it that weren't necessarily around that price point. So we can even change the verbiage on the ad from like homes under price point to homes above. We can do like 2-story living, because usually that's someone looking to like upsize. Like there's 100% verbiage we can kind of change. We can run a different style of ad, which by default is going to have a different type of person that just kind of clicks on it for sure. So we can split test. So are you saying mainly like maybe an issue you're seeing is just like unrealistic expectations, lower budgets?
I think that's part of it. And like I said, just with a lot of the people that are clicking on there, their English as a second language, not necessarily understanding, and definitely unrealistic as far as what they're looking for, for that budget, I think. So.
Okay, understood. Okay, let me note that real quick. Yeah, because from the campaign so far, since starting.
Yeah, because it's like, even some of the people, it's like almost, I think they have the expectation that they just want me to send them some houses. Like, no, I'm here to help you actually qualify, get a property, go through that process. And like, no, just send me the list. Like, no. So, I mean, which I can set them up on the email search, great. But, there's a few steps that I want to, need you to take in order to make sure that you're qualified for this. Number one, we need to make sure that you can even actually purchase this, and that lets me know that they're a little more committed to actually doing it versus just want me to send them some houses. So.
Yeah. Too, though, that is also good too, because if you do break past that, because any other agent they speak to, they're probably throwing the same objection at. They're probably saying, "Oh, just send me houses." So yeah, if you are somehow able to break through that and be like, "Yeah, absolutely," I definitely want to make sure that we're sending stuff in your price range. So to do that, we basically need to see what you'd be pre-approved for. We can do so without pulling your credit or anything like that, low commitment. And yeah, if you are able to break through that, that's huge, because you're able to provide a lot more value than probably agents that are just like, okay, what are you looking for? And then they just send them the homes list, which is good. Since we launched the ads from September 30th, so I mean, basically October 1st, we generated a total of 168 leads and 20 live transfers. So that comes out to about a 12% lead to live transfer rate. Out of those 20, I guess, ballpark range, how many of those would you say you're kind of working with or could kind of turn out to be like clients within maybe like the next 3 to 6 months or so?
Just realistically, as far as people who seem to be serious right now, I would probably say at least maybe 4 to 5 of those, would probably be, realistic, that are going to do something in the next, like you said, 3 to 6 months. Okay. So just, again, just staying on top of them, getting them engaged, getting them to take that next step. So, but I definitely know there's some deals in there. I'm just trying to find who's ready now. And this is this part of the year, definitely understand, because right around holidays, people just they don't want to make moves. They don't want to do anything. Yeah. So it makes it a little more challenging right now. The first of the year, I know it'll definitely
I think that's going to explode. Like, I think a lot of pipelines, especially agents we're working with, like we're just seeing stuff stack up. And it's like the beginning of the year is going to explode. Like, I think at least like it's gonna be good for real estate. Cool. Okay. So yeah, you can really see how like it funnels down there. Hopefully we're helping with a lot of the work for the most part. Cause 168 leads narrows down to 20 transfers. And like you said, narrows that down to 4 or 5 that you think might actually be able to do something within the next 3 to 6 months, which that's the whole name of the game with online lead gen, which is good. And if you think 3 out of 20 transfers, our average conversion rates we see is anywhere around that 12 to 18% mark. So if you think 5 on the high end, maybe 3 on the low end, you're definitely like not behind. If 5 is above average, 3 is basically average. So that's good there. We just got to get something in the door to turn an ROI. So you can basically look at it from more of like an investment standpoint of, okay, I now have data of like my lead to live transfer rate, my cost per lead, my closing rate, and then you're basically able to make like power moves from there.
For sure. Yeah, that definitely helps. If you want to ramp up, do more ads, do different things, then you know exactly, okay, if I put this amount of money in, I know I'm going to get this amount of leads, I'm going to get this amount of live transfers, and then this amount of potential closings out of those live transfers.
Yep. 100%. Cool. I do see. Yeah, that's exactly it. You hit the nail on the head there. Like being able to look at your business from that standpoint and being like, cool, like input equals output, especially with kind of something like this. And at some point, realistically, like we know the main goal is really to if you want to scale this out of the water, like paid ads, for example, it's going to get to the point where it just makes more sense for you and it's more profitable for you. Like we're kind of the middleman right now. Like you might want to hire your own ad specialist, your own ISAs to give you more control, more flexibility. It'll be cheaper. And we fully understand that. But like our main goal is like trying to introduce agents to this. Be like, look, like this can be so profitable. If you know how to do it, now just do it. Like, so now just put your own systems in place and like run it up, you know?
For sure. For sure.
I don't know if on the checklist or it hasn't been added yet, if it's on there to edit your ads over this weekend, but taking a look at your ad account, I see one ad we're running right now. I'll note down to either up price point a little bit or do like a 2-level living ad, or do you even like, I'm uneducated kind of in forms of like all the real estate offers and stuff like that you guys have. I'm kind of just look at it from more of like a marketing perspective, but is there any really other good offers that will kind of steer clear away from lower budget looking for a deal? Because I know the advertisement, obviously, like click below for homes under price point, that's like great, like lower. What are some ad options that maybe you think would like really help?
I mean, I was thinking I'm trying to figure out some type of angle, because let me pull up my marketing plan real quick.
And also Facebook has the ad library. Are you familiar with that?
I've looked at it before.
Yeah. So if you know any like colleagues or anyone that's like running ads also, you can like look at their stuff, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
See, like they're crushing it.
So let's see. So basically, I was putting together my marketing plan for 2025. And of course, you know, I've got 4 different areas that I'm primarily focusing on. I'm focusing on, of course, my VIP outreach. That's basically my sphere. So that's my referrals and things like that. The AEM lead. So that's our Facebook ads that we're doing right now. I want to start doing more of a focus on new construction, and as well as doing a formalized renter to homeowner program as well. So people that are basically targeting folks that are paying rent between a certain range. So if they're above $1,500-$1,600 a month, I know realistically they can probably stretch a little bit more to be able to purchase a home. So those are kind of the key areas that I'm looking at. So I mean, either something from an angle of being able to stretch your buying power with new construction, because typically what they do is they have their own financing, they buy down interest rates. So you may be able to stretch your buying power $100,000 higher with their interest rate, because a lot of builders right now are still able to offer like a 3.99 or low 4s right now, because they're buying down interest rates for buyers to get them in there to qualify payment wise. So something like that, where we're talking about stretching your buying power maybe, and then targeting to new construction. Or I'm trying to think as far as for the renter to homeowner program, maybe I'm just thinking some type of incentive to basically just, you know, talking about stop wasting money on rent and, you know, start building equity or something. I don't know, something from that line.
Yeah, I'm trying to look here. Yeah, so this is a pretty cool tool. You can come in here, the Facebook ads library. You can kind of search up stuff and it'll kind of show you what other people are running. Just listed, discover the stunning new construction home. New construction and legacy community equals sell time for buyer to pick selection. So is this the type of thing, new construction, where do you kind of have to have a relationship with like builders, or is it something where like you can find the buyer first, then the builder? Or do you need to know the builder first?
Well, we have what are called basically production builders. So those are going to be like, you've probably seen them in your area, like your DR Hortons, your Pulte Homes, or, you know, MI Homes, you know, different basically production builders where they go out, they establish a community, you know, they start building houses there. So basically I go out, find the buyers, bring the buyers to the builder rep, sign them up, and then of course you get paid commission off of that. Yeah.
Gotcha. And that's quick, right? Like when you sign that, does the builder pay you like basically up front, or do they have to wait for that loan to come through, or how does that work?
So with a new construction, it depends. So if they're building from scratch, no, you won't get paid until it actually closes. So, okay. But a lot of builders right now are doing what are called like inventory or spec homes. So basically, typically you can get somebody into a brand new home within about 30 to 45 days usually. So it's pretty comparable to what it would be on the existing market. So.
Nice. Gotcha. Okay. Got it. Understood. Yeah, I don't know. None of these are necessarily looking like maybe what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll have to think it through a little bit more, and maybe I can send you some examples of kind of what my brain is thinking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm
But
sure
yeah,
there's something out there.
but I think there's definitely some ways that maybe we can target specifically people who are interested in looking at new construction, because they're either, I mean, it could be first time home buyers for some of them, because I mean, there are some price points that may be in the like mid threes, somewhere in that range starting
Yeah.
out. But a
Yeah.
lot of times with new construction, you'll get a double deal because a lot of times they're move up folks. So they're looking like, hey, I need to sell my house too,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
I've heard that. I've heard that because like new construction, they're so early in the like new home buying process with new construction, they usually have something on market anyway.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time they end up buying something that's on market also anyway. They don't even usually go through with new construction.
Yeah, sometimes that can happen too. So, but
Yeah, so this looks like kind of that what you were talking about here. Florida renters. Did you know 7 out of 10 renters in Florida pay over $2,500 a month in rent to likely qualify for their dream home?
yeah,
Why keep
something like
paying
that.
someone else's mortgage when you could own your own home for less? Take your first steps today. Seems like, yeah, just a walking video.
Oh, she's just talking about getting pre-approved. Okay.
Florida first time, and then it looks like just sending them to a, yeah, I mean that's pretty well put together, honestly. Landing page looks like jot form here. This is on Go High Level too, which is the CRM that we have with you. As I can just tell from the form, their almost done thing looks like that too. Their kind of
Okay.
thing. So yeah, I mean, even if it's a matter of kind of building something like that out for you, which the thing with Facebook and Instagram leads is you really want to have the least amount of friction as possible with the way we do it with the ISAs. Now, if she's calling those leads herself, she wants to send them to a lander, ask them like 10 questions. So instead of like us, we generated 160 leads so far. Maybe she's only doing like 25 or 30, but they're kind of like, they went through a lot more of a process. But since we have the ISAs, it's like, we kind of want to just like, if they're going to fill out that landing page, they're going to fill out ours because ours is just way simpler. We just get a lot more of the leads, which is, there's a million different ways to make $1 million, but with us having the ISAs, we want to shoot for as much lead volume as possible. But if we can get a different type of lead, a more qualified lead, but maintain the same volume, that's obviously better.
Okay. So yeah, so that's definitely something I want to look into, maybe something from that perspective. I mean, like she was talking about with the renters, maybe target a certain, rental amount, whatever, if you're paying this amount, whatever, some type of ad from that perspective, just to, do something a little different. So this one is definitely producing, like I said, it's just getting through them and finally figuring out what it's going to take to get the folks to take that next step. And I think we're getting close.
Good. Yeah, if you figure that out, that'll definitely be helpful, because the biggest thing that we have right now is we have the agents, we're helping them get the opportunity in front of them. But as you probably know, like I'm sure you know that at least from what I've just seen, like a above average agent. So we have agents that come into our program that are maybe more so average or a little bit below average that aren't really understanding how to convert these leads. It's like us as the agency, it's our job to help them and provide the training and everything. So we've got some connections with a guy out of West Palm Beach, Florida. He does a lot of revenue. Mike Collier out of LA, he does like a training program. And if you'd be interested in sharing any of your stuff, we're basically trying to put together like a coaching program for our agents to like help them like, hey, this is like how you have to work this type of lead. Because as you can probably assume, a lot of agents are just kind of like, we're getting the opportunity in front of their face, but it's like kind of a brick wall sometimes for a lot of agents where it's like, thanks for the opportunity, but like I don't have the skill set to make it work. And that's obviously up to us to help provide that.
Actually, it's up to them. They got seriously, they really need they really need to take the initiative to, get that skill set. That's the only way you're going to grow your business is by adding these different types of, pieces to the puzzle. You know what I mean? So, so again, I'm figuring it out as I go. I'm not, I've done quite a bit on the phones, and, like I said, I worked on the new construction side. And when you're on the new construction side at the builder rep, literally, I'm meeting you for the first time and I'm trying to get you to make a, $500,000, 600,000, 700,000 decision the first time I meet you. So I'm used to going through that process and asking those types of questions. It's just, it's still a little different with a completely cold lead on the phone who's not seeing you. They don't necessarily know if they can trust you. So you got to still try to build that up, as you're going through your questions and, guide them through those next steps. So
I think it's just the utter accountability. I think it makes a good agent. Like you're looking at it and it's like, it's all my fault. It's all up to me. And then we're looking at it like it's all our fault. It's all up to us. Like we got to make our agents succeed. And you're like, I don't care like what they're doing. I'm going to figure out how to work their leads. So I think that's good. That's like perfect. We need maybe a mentality masterclass from Thomas.
Seriously. I mean, a lot of it, that's all this is mindset, man, especially with, in real estate, you got to have that positive mindset that this stuff is going to work. If you're going to pour your money, any energy, time, you got to believe it's going to work. If you don't believe it's going to work, it won't. That's just
Yeah.
bottom line. So.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you got to put the work in. Well, I think everything looks good on our end. It's a matter of looking over the ads this weekend and launching maybe something new for Monday to just try to weed out anyone that's maybe attracted to the ad for the wrong reasons. Maybe like thinking with the under price point, maybe it's just a matter of upping the price point a little bit or just changing that under word to over or between. Top homes between price range to price range rather than under, because it really does crush. But yeah, sometimes in some markets, especially if we have a price point that's a little bit inaccurate or something, it can make it a little bit more difficult. So we'll look at that. And then other than that, is there really anything that you kind of need from us? Any questions you had that you wanted to knock out on this call or anything?
Those are the key things right now. I mean, like I said, definitely want to look at, running a slightly different type of ad just to compare, see how that does as far as the type of lead or, type of client profile that's coming in from that.
If it's anything urgent, just feel free to get me at the phone number you have with me or email. I'm very active on both. Anything urgent, we can always throw a call on the calendar if needed. Other than that, we'll revisit. I'm going to be super slammed 2 weeks from now when we're supposed to have our next check-in call. Okay. So we can either do earlier that week instead of Friday, or we can shoot instead of doing it our next call in 2 weeks, it would just be 3 weeks, whatever works best for you. So we can do earlier that week that we would have our check-in call, or the following week, whatever you think.
I mean, I should be pretty flexible either way. Like I said, going into the holidays is not crazy busy right now, so I'm just kind of closing out stuff that I had in the pipeline to finish out the year. So yeah, I'm flexible. Just shoot me if you want to shoot me a invite or something. Just let me know either way. I should be good.
Cool. Sounds good. We'll do that. Awesome. Well, we'll go from there, Thomas. Appreciate it. Obviously, these calls are just to make sure we're connecting, making sure that you're having a positive experience. Look at the good, do more of the good. Look at the bad, do less of the bad, which is kind of what we have to do here for the ads. And yeah, if all sounds good, we'll kind of take it from there. Hope you have a good rest of your Friday, weekend, and holidays. And let me know if you need absolutely anything.
All right, you too. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. See you, Thomas.
Right, thank you.
So there you have it, a successful check-in call with one of our partnering agents. We have these success calls with our partnering agents every single 2 weeks to, ensure success. If you're an established realtor interested in getting at least 2 to 4 new deals every single month, again, on a pay-per-deal basis, then click the first link down in the description to book a free call with me and my team. In that free call, we'll explain how our service works, see if your area is still available, and if we can actually even get you results or not. Again, it's pay per deal, so we have to make sure that we can get you results. Just click that first link down below, and we'll see if it even makes sense for us to partner together. Talk to you soon. Thank you.